Hi, so today we'll study about order of operations. What if you are given this kind of problem? 2 plus 8 times 4. How do you solve this? So there are two ways of solving this. Let's look at those two. One, if you group 2 plus 8 first, you do the addition first, you'll have 10 times 4, which will be equal to 40. And the other one is, if you group 8 times 4 first, it will give you 32 plus 2. It will give us 34. So, in mathematics, there can only be one answer for every problem. So, if we have this kind of problem, how do we solve this? So, we look at the order of operations. So, what's the order of operations here? First, we have parentheses and brackets. Second, we have exponents. Third, we have multiplication and division. And lastly, we have addition and subtraction. So, I've highlighted some of the letters here for mnemonics. So, you have a shortcut here of Pemdas. Parentheses and brackets, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. That's what you call Pemdas. Okay, so let's look at each of them, each of the rules. First, we have parentheses and brackets. For parentheses and brackets, these are for groupings. So, in parentheses, we can put any number inside and any operation inside that parentheses. This means that you have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So sometimes you can use brackets. So brackets is the same as parentheses, it's just of a different design. And sometimes brackets are used to group involving different or more than one parentheses. Okay, so let's look at one example here. If we have 3 times the parentheses of 2 plus 4, this means that you have to do the group inside the parentheses first, which is 2 plus 4. It will give us 3 times 6, which will be equal to 18. Let's try another one. So this one, you have multiple parentheses here. So for this kind of problem, you just have to do what's inside of each of the parentheses. You have to simplify each of the operations inside the parentheses. So you can do either of the parentheses here. So for example, we have 3 times 1, I mean 3 minus 1 first, it's 2. 2 plus 4 first, it's 6. And then after doing what's inside the parentheses, then you can multiply it. So you have to remember here that you need to simplify everything inside the parentheses before doing the operations outside of the parentheses. Let's look at the second rule. So this one is about exponents, or you can sometimes call it power. So what are exponents? So these are repeated multiplication. So we have an example here. 3 times 3, it's 3 squared. 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 to the 3. And 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 3 to the 4. The numbers you are seeing here that are highlighted are what you call exponents. So how do we use the exponent here in our order of operation? So for example, you have this one, 4 times 3 squared. So what you have to do here is first simplify the number with the exponent. So you have 3 squared here. This means that you have to simplify 3 squared first and make it 9. And then that's the time you can multiply it to 4, which will give us 36. The next one, we have here parentheses. Inside the parentheses is 3 squared plus 2 minus 6. So it said here that you have to do parentheses first, but you have exponents inside. Well, technically, if you will simplify the exponent inside the parentheses, you are doing the parenthesis first, because the parenthesis is just the group of the operations inside. So technically you're still doing the parenthesis first, and then it's just so happen that inside the parenthesis there is a exponent. So let's try answering here. So simplify the operations inside the parenthesis. We have 3 squared, so it will be 9 plus 2, it will be 11, and then after that 11 minus 6 is 5. Okay, so that's how you use exponents. Next one, so these are the commonly answered operations. So multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. So as you can see here, multiplication and division comes before addition and subtraction, thus having a higher priority. Let's look at our example earlier. We have 2 plus 8 times 4. So since we know that multiplication and division has higher priority than addition and subtraction, then we will do 8 times 4 first, thus giving us 2 plus 32, which is 34. Okay, let's look at another example. We'll have division and subtraction here. So you have 30 minus 10 divided by 5. So we know that division comes of higher priority before subtraction. So we have 10 divided by 5 first, which is 2, and then you subtract 2 from 30, then it will give us 28. So what if we are given this one, 80 divided by 4 times 2? Since we have multiplication and division on the same priority, then we have to add something on that rule number 3 and 4. We will have multiplication and division from left to right. Same with the addition and subtraction, it's from left to right. So what do I mean by this one? Let's look here. Let's look at the example here. We have 80 divided by 4 times 2. There are two ways of doing it. It's either left to right or right to left. If you do it left to right, it will be 80 divided by 4, which is 20. And on the other one, we have 4 times 2 first, which is 8, which will give us 80 divided by 8. This will give us 2 answers. So that's why we have to add here from left to right to emphasize that since multiplication and division are of the same priority, we do them from left to right. Okay, so the correct answer here is the 20 times 2. You do the division first and then multiply it, because we're doing it from left to right. So I hope the Pemdas is now clear. So let's review our Pemdas. We have parentheses and brackets, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right. So it's important to remember that you're going from left to right if you have multiplication and division. And then for addition and subtraction, they are of the same priority, so you do them also from left to right. So that's Pemdas. So I hope you understand now how to compute if you have multiple operations in your problems. Thank you and God bless.